Abortion is only 3% of what Planned Parenthood does, but suddenly they have to shut down because they can't do that 3%? So these states are funding Planned Parenthood under the guise of contraception, but we know where that money's really going at Planned Parenthood. And let's say a state, let's say your state, through your elected representatives, with your governor, decides, you know what, we're no longer going to fund Planned Parenthood under the guise of contraception. We're going to redirect that money to pregnancy crisis centers. Pregnancy crisis centers right now outnumber Planned Parenthood clinics in most states by 14-1. And these little mom and pop or religious-based organizations, nonprofits, pregnancy crisis centers, they actually help pregnant women. They actually help them with their choice. They help them with their options. They help give them care. They help give them advice. They actually help them through their pregnancy. So a state decides, you know what, let's stop funding Planned Parenthood and let's divert that money to pregnancy crisis centers. That would be a wonderful thing, right? Well, not if this bill becomes law. Oh, that's right. That's right. In this so-called Right to Contraception Act, there is a provision that says that you must guarantee funding to abortion businesses and prohibit the federal and state government from directing funding going to abortion clinics to then go to a healthcare provider. Does that sound like the Right to Contraception Act? Or does that sound like the Let's Make Sure We Keep Funding Abortions Act? Now, have you heard a Republican pundit on television telling you that? Have you heard a Republican congressman or senator or political pundit on cable news tell you that the so-called Right to Contraception Act actually overrides the Religious Freedom Restoration Act? Now, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act says that you can't be compelled to do anything that violates your fundamental religious beliefs. This is a basic constitutional principle in this country. So let's say a Catholic school doesn't want to pay for contraception for their teachers through the healthcare plan. They should have the right to prohibit that in their healthcare plan because they are a Catholic school and it is against the Catholic religion to utilize contraception. So that, now I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm just saying that's their right to do that. This so-called Right to Contraception Act would override the religious right of an entity or organization to keep their employees, to keep from having to fund their employees' contraception. That's in the bill. Is that not a legitimate reason to vote against it? Of course it is. Don't get into the weeds about what a birth control pill does and the fertilized egg and the semen and the, I do not want to hear any politician tell me about semen. Ever. Argue against these things based on what's in front of you, not based on the trap that Nancy Pelosi has set. Please. But that's exactly what they did. And that's why, sadly, I keep saying we're going to win in November. The only way we don't win in November is if Republicans do exactly what they always do. It's Larry O'Connor in for Mark Levin.